Give me 1 second. Let me find it. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Decaf, and welcome back to our channel. And yes, I say our channel because it's not just about me, it's about all of us and what we can continue to do for all of our Black, queer, trans, and non-binary family to make sure that they feel welcome, seen, and supported in all that they do. So let's talk, let's listen, let's love. You know, we back with some housekeeping. Make sure to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe so that you can get all of these episodes each time they drop, because I know you don't want to miss out on what's to come, whether that be a story, whether that be some music, or whether that be some news. Like, you know, we have it all here for you. So make sure, again, to subscribe to all of our platforms, whether that be YouTube, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Medium, you know, all of the above. Do what you need to do, but make sure to subscribe. So, before we get started, just want to do a little check-in with y'all, make sure you good. So what's up, what's tea, what's going on? Okay, how are you? Okay, have you had a moment to yourself today? If not, we're gonna do that right now. So you know, again, with our 5 seconds of deep breathing. So let's go. All right. Up next, we have the song of the show where I try to put y'all on to some real cute music by a Black queer artist, old or new. If you haven't heard it before, then you heard it here first. Today's song of the show is Yikezzz by DreBae. DreBae is 23, born in California, and started releasing music in 2018. So if you haven't heard of DreBae, then you need to get on the train, because I didn't mean to say train, but you need to get on the train, girl, because it's pretty hot.
DreBae. Yikes, got red bottoms with the spikes. Ayy, zip your pants up, nigga, cause I'm just gon' ride your face like a bike. Ayy, hoes turn to Stevie Wonder when they said the shit was on sight. What's up? Body looking like a work of art, and I ain't never went under the knife.
DreBae came with the pressure when he got on the track with Megan Thee Stallion called No Pressure. And they performed at San Francisco's Pride Fest. Like, what? Come on. The star is getting up there. So make sure you check it out. If you want to hear more from DreBae or hear the song more, make sure to subscribe to the Closet Unlocked newsletter so that you can get our exclusive access to our playlist, along with everything else that we talk about here. For today's feature story, whoever you are, wherever you are, I send you my love. The Free Spirit. Growing up in a city where hate crimes rose by 24% just last year, being a Black queer boy in Chicago was interesting, to say the least. I was living in a space where I felt like my genuine existence could possibly risk me my life. Swarmed with varying emotions, I had to learn how to handle a whirlwind of experiences. Being around others, I would constantly feel belittled for who I was. Peers would always mention jokes about queer people in both subtle ways and cruelly. One thing that a lot of people do not understand is the impact that our friend groups have on us. It's very true. These are people who, for some of us, we spend most of our time with. However, it's the judgment from these groups that lead us to question ourselves. So I did. I spent night after night reflecting on who I was, judging my self-worth. I even reached a point where I questioned if I deserved to be in this world. When it comes down to judgment, most people in general leave that up to their religious affiliation. For the Black family, we are 83% more likely to believe in God than our white or Latino counterparts. With the Black church being a dominant support system for our ancestors and elders, especially during the Civil Rights era, it has always been something that is ingrained in the minds of little Black children. Most of us grew up in religious households to some degree. Even if you weren't in church every Sunday, you were still being preached the word of the Lord whenever things got tough. I know I was. We were taught to trust in God and always keep Him before everything. Yet, how could I be so receptive to a religion that people used against me? Countless times I have been in and around conversations where people frequently mention that queer folks were a sin, that we were unnatural beings, that we are mistakes. Can you believe that? For me to still be here, breathing, living, loving, how was I saying? You better not grow up to be gay or you will go to hell, is what my own sister said to me when she caught me switching too hard one day. When the motto of black churches was basically don't name it, don't claim it, words like that from people closest to you can stay with you for life. I wish that I can say that that closet moment was one of a few, but that wouldn't be the truth. My truth was similar to other black queer folks who are just trying to find their way. In both family and community at large, we are battling a much larger issue with homophobia. Being called a fag, sissy boy, or weak are just a few of the adverse slurs thrown at us, as if we are not deserving of equal respect. This societal issue can and has created a divide amongst others who are not queer, especially men. It was as if them sharing any level of intimacy with another man crossed a gay line for them, as if my sincerity and respect of looking them in their eyes as they spoke were offensive, as if living from the heart itself was a sin. Therefore, I often never told my male friends about me being queer and chose not to share my experiences except to those who were willing to know me. Being young, gay, and in the closet, our experiences growing up are much different than our peers. Feeling like you have to hide who you are from everyone around you is tasking. This is in bold, y'all. Tasking. Similar to other black gay men, keeping that secret for so long made me feel alone. There weren't any outlets. There were few mentors in the community giving tips on how to survive while being black and queer. There's no playbook, no practice runs, or techniques that were given to help polish the specialness that was inside of me. I had to learn a lot on my own. I had to fall, make mistakes, and get back up with no one to cheer me on but myself. No one can really teach you how to be queer. It's a journey of a self-discovering process. So having all of this raw talent, passion, love, and divine being with no real space or avenue to display it really compared my abilities to remain resilient until I was able to free myself and express it. That journey of being in the closet is what taught me to be myself. It gave me the courage to follow my inner voice, to sing my song because no one can sing it for me, to trust in my divine being with confidence while expressing it. It's where I found love for myself. It's where I found people like my brother that supported me, who would tell me, it's okay, just be gay. I'll still love you the same. Those who created space for me to be myself in my own little closet. Those who were concerned about me being a young black queer man on the south side of Chicago and provided resources, places to comfortably sleep, and help in any way possible. I remember those who cheered me on, those who mentored me in silence, those who encouraged me to be myself despite what others thought, those who gave me comfort in my darkest nights. My in the closet experience was filled with overburdened valleys and ecstatic mountains. But it's my story, my voice, my tune, and I wouldn't change it for the world. It's funny that in our worlds, we make certain moments more important than others who have shared those same experiences with us. I still remember a closet moment of my life when I let my aunt borrow my laptop, not even considering what she could see on it. As I'm in the shower, singing my heart out, I didn't anticipate that I just outed myself. Seconds before I began scrambling to get a towel and rushing downstairs, my cousin came in the bathroom yelling, "Auntie just found gay porn on your computer." What? You can imagine that not only did my heart drop, but a sudden wave of embarrassment rushed over my body. As I quickly tried to close the video tab, I lied and tell her that it's probably from a virus on my computer. At that moment, she just brushes it off and acts confused. When I asked her about it recently, years after I've come out, she tells me that she doesn't even remember it. How could she forget a moment that I hung on to for so long? Because of this, I probably unconsciously began to be more careful during my internet searches instead of having conversations about it openly. To take a second to learn, to teach. We need to teach young kids, young black kids, young black gay kids to share their nakedness with the rest of the world so that they can see how amazing they are. Do not let a snake deceive you with illusions to cover it up. Your real raw self is all you'll ever need to be. It's the only thing that matters. Your story matters. For those that would like to share a story, you can submit it anonymously through our survey on all of our platforms and down below in the description. For those that have submitted, Thank you for your honesty, for your transparency, and for your courage. Thank you for showing others the strength that is in this journey so that they know that they are not alone in theirs. Thank you for being you and for being here, because here, your story matters. Stay tuned, because up next we have Black and Queer at the Table, where we discuss what's new, what's happening, and what's what. All right, y'all, for our last segment of the day, we are talking about this book that I just finished reading called The Vanishing. Now, before we get into it, I want to address my attire. I know that this is like a work shirt, but I really just enjoy having on a nice black polo. Like, it just looks so sleek and so clean, doesn't it? I know, you ain't gotta tell me, you know. But it's okay. I just wanted to bring it up because when I first put it on, I was like, oh, this looks like I'm going to work. But I didn't really care because I'm just about to record this video. So getting into it, I was first introduced to this book by my book club. So shout out to them. We read this last month or something like that. And it was a really good book. So shout out to DreBae, the author of this book, for doing her thing with it. I will admit, when I first started reading it, it took me a minute. I had to stop, put it down, and really just take a break. Because, you know, I don't know if anybody else deals with this, but when I first started the book, I'd be like, it's a lot going on. I got a lot of things to catch up on, whether it be the characters, the storyline. So I had to take a break, but it's okay. I put it down, I picked it back up, I came back. That's the most important part, is coming back to where you started or where you left off. So I came back to it. And I promise you, when I finished reading this book, y'all, I was mind blown. Like, I was like, wow, I cannot believe all of this just happened in this book from start to finish. Like, it was good. It was a great book. I'm going to give y'all a little backstory on it. If you have read the book, definitely DM us, send us an email, comment down below on this video. Let me know what your thoughts were of it, because I had a really good time reading it, and I hope that everybody else that read it as well, but you never know with books. If you have not read the book, I definitely recommend you going and checking it out and just reading it, because it brings you aware of so many different perspectives of life that you wouldn't even know. So just to give you a little background, I promise this won't be a book report or anything like that. Just bear with me. The Vanishing was essentially about two twin sisters who ran away from home because they was tired of the bullshit, for real. And it all seemed fine until they got to the place that they wanted to get to and realized that that's not really where they meant to be. And you know, honestly, that happens to a lot of us in life, but I ain't gonna talk no more about that. So the story itself talks about both of these twin sisters and the life that both of them eventually led individually. So they ended up getting to this place and then separating and living two completely different lives. So the book really does talk about that. It also brings up a lot of topics such as racial passing, colorism, domestic abuse, intersectional feminism, class politics, dementia, and even trans awareness, y'all. And if that's not enough for you, you really need to get into the story, because that alone is a lot of conversation that I want to have, and I'm glad that they had them in the book, or at least portrayed them. So further along in the book, one of the twins' daughter, Jude, went away to college and ended up meeting someone by the name of Reese, who also was someone who ran away from home because they were tired of being mistreated by their family and loved ones. So they left. But the reason why I bring this book to our attention today in this space of Black and Queer at the Table is because the character of Reese was a Black trans individual, and I give major props to DreBae because the way that she explained the relationship between Jude and Reese was a great representation as to how a lot of people should approach their relationships with those who do identify as trans, with love, patience, and understanding. DreBae also did a good job of kind of showing people what the trans experience looks like without being too explicit. So it wasn't really just talking about Reese, they was talking about their experiences as well as all of their other chosen communities' experiences as well. So all their other Black queer friends, as well as some drag show moments. If you like drag shows, I definitely recommend checking it out. I know I do, but they talked about it a little bit in there. So again, I love the book. It could have been a little bit more exciting towards the end, but that's only because I'm dramatic and I love dramatics. My whole life is literally dramatic, but it's okay. Neither here nor there. The book was great. I definitely recommend it. It was like a 9 out of 10, maybe a 10 out of 10 on a good day, but it's okay. Check it out. Make sure you go and support Black-owned bookstores or go to your local library because they need the support as well. So, but that's all we have for today's segment, y'all. We will be back next episode with more Black queer folk being represented at the table. But until next time, peace out.